Have you ever considered what truly underpins the value of the items we buy and sell, beyond just their price tag? Adam Smith and David Ricardo, two foundational figures in classical economics, both explored the labor theory of value, but their interpretations reveal distinct differences, primarily concerning whether value is determined by the labor embodied in a good or the labor it can command in exchange. The core reason for these differences lies in their understanding of economic development and the components of price in advanced capitalist societies. Smith initially posited that, in primitive societies, the value of a commodity was directly proportional to the amount of labor required to produce it. However, as economies grew more complex and capital and land became factors, he shifted his focus to what a commodity could purchase, that is, the quantity of labor it could command. This labor-commanded perspective acknowledges that wages, profits, and rents all contribute to price, moving beyond a simple labor cost. Ricardo, in contrast, consistently argued that the relative value of commodities is determined by the quantity of labor necessary to produce them, even in more advanced economies. He refined this labor-embodied concept, recognizing that capital itself is the product of past labor and that variations in the durability of capital, or the time it takes to bring goods to market, could affect relative prices, but he still rooted value in the total labor input. His insights aim to explain why two goods produced with the same amount of labor might still trade at slightly different rates. Understanding these distinctions helps us trace the evolution of economic thought and appreciate the nuanced arguments that shaped classical political economy. It clarifies how economists grappled with the origins of wealth and exchange before the full development of marginal utility theory. Specifically, Smith's concept of labor commanded refers to the amount of labor that a commodity is capable of purchasing or exchanging for on the market, particularly relevant in societies where wages, profits, and rents from income. On the other hand, Ricardo's labor embodied refers to the total amount of direct and indirect labor time, including the labor to produce the tools and raw materials, that goes into creating a commodity. These precise definitions highlight their differing emphasis on how labor manifests in value. Grasping the unique contributions of Smith and Ricardo to the labor theory of value provides a crucial foundation for comprehending subsequent economic theories, including Karl Marx's critiques. It illuminates the intellectual journey toward understanding the fundamental drivers of exchange value and the distribution of income within market systems.